I'm starting to feel nothing because you get so used to bombing that when people like tear your heart apart, you're like, you thought about this thing to say for 4 hours and then nobody likes it. You learn to build like this weird armor around your heart. Yes. Exactly. And then you feel nothing off stage too. And
welcome, Chris Tan, to the OG podcast. Chris, your background, as far as I know, I met you out here doing comedy in Austin, Texas. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in Austin? How long have you done comedy? How'd you get started?
I'm a rare breed. I was born and raised in Austin, but I went to school in New York and started comedy in New York because my therapist, he pushed me to do comedy.
Oh, yeah? It's like exposure therapy, or what kind of therapy is that?
Well, I was working at a bank, and then I told him I was doing improv, and he was like, dude, you're smart, you're good looking. You should do stand-up. My sister, she fucked Andrew Dice Clay. You're funnier than him. And I was like, yeah.
That must have been in like the 90s. When was Clay around?
I think he was popping like maybe late 80s. It's like 40 years ago or something.
Do you have a big age gap between you and your sister?
He wasn't talking about...
Oh, his sister.
Yeah, his
sister.
I
was like trying to do the math on that. I was
God. No, I don't think, unless Andrew Dice Clay was like hooking up with girls who were like negative 12 years old.
Yeah, something sketchy for sure. Mm-hmm. So what was your first open mic night? Like, how'd that go?
I talked about my trip to the Church of Scientology. That was fun. I just like told a story because that's all you do when you start out with comedy. I just talked about how like sketchy it was.
You have a Christian background, right? Or
Nah, I went to a Christian school, but I was raised Buddhist.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Maybe I thought it was like Chris Tan, Christian.
People, my Instagram handle, I'll just plug it right now, is devoutly Chris Tan. But everybody who sees it, they're like, oh, your name's Christian. And I'm like, no, you don't recognize the genius of this pun.
But it does seem religious. Am I missing it? What is explain the pun for all of us? Okay.
Like I'm Buddhist. That's not exactly explicit, but like I'm Buddhist, and the thing is like people say devoutly Christian, but then my name is Chris Tan, so then you put the pun on that.
Right. Yeah. So you did your first open mic, and where was that? That was in New York?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Do you remember what it was called? What club it was?
It was at the Pit, which is like an improv place. They cram you into a little closet, and
so your therapist just says you should get out there, you should go do this, and you look up a place, and you went.
Yeah, basically. I think he pushed me to start comedy so that my mom would start
everything?
Therapy. Yeah.
Did it solve the problems? Did comedy fix it?
Crushed a lot of problems, created a lot more. So equivalent exchange, maybe.
There you go. As long as it balances out.
Yeah.
And then, so you were raised out here. You went to New York. Now you're back in Austin. What do you think of the comedy scene here?
The comedy scene? It's interesting because as somebody who grew up here, I never spent that much time on 6th Street. And so now after doing comedy, I feel like I know Austin way more than I did in my first like 18 years here. But homeless people, every podcast is pretty accurate. A lot of homeless people here in Austin. I was recently at the Domain, which is like the heart of gentrification. And I was like, there's no culture here, but it's so fucking clean. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, what happened to Brass Tap? It's shut down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Domain's popping, so they increased rent. So that place was like, nah.
Isn't that where Cap City's going to be?
R.I.P. The Domain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They'll be across from the Museum of Ice Cream.
So I think we met at the Domain at the Hans Kim's Kimchi open mic, maybe. Maybe it was a different maybe it was a different Romo room mic, but it was definitely at the Romo room.
Definitely at the Romo room. It might have been like Katie Houseman's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her what was she doing? Mallory was doing Holy Comedy. Katie had something.
Right. No, Ridge was doing Holy Comedy.
Oh yeah, it was Ridge. Right. Yeah, that was a good setup for a little bit.
Oh, it was great. I would probably do like 10 spots there every week.
Yeah, you could, nice. Right?
Yeah, very easily.
Yeah. So how do you find spots now?
How do I find spots?
Yeah, like where do you work? How do you get your comedy going?
Oh, well, you do your own show, and then other people ask you to do their show. So that's usually just through Instagram.
Right.
And then the rest is just like on Instagram. They'll post like like open mic.
So you started a mic?
Oh, I didn't start a mic. No,
Oh,
I started
okay.
my own shows. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you host those?
At the Alamo Draft House and
cool.
on Mueller, like 5 minutes from here.
Very cool.
And then at Ground Floor Theater. Yeah, it's like an acting theater. It's a cool setup.
That is cool. And so the whole so far from what I got from your story is somebody encouraged you to do comedy. You tried it out. How many years in are you?
Just hit 3.
3 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you can subtract a year because of COVID.
Yeah. Now, is that 3 years of consecutive working, or is that 3 years of
I'll
consecutive?
get up like 15 times a week.
15 times a week? That's a
Yeah,
lot. That's a
yeah.
lot. That's like a couple times a night.
Yeah, I try to go up like 3 or 4 times a night.
So where's your material? What's the source of your
My
muse?
material?
Yeah. What's your inspiration from? You were talking a little bit earlier about switching it up.
Yeah. Initially, just like any other guy, you talk about dicks a lot.
Yeah.
And then you evolve to the next level, which is dick or pussy jokes. And then you kind of like, you realize like this sucks. This doesn't make any sense. And then you dig a little bit deeper. Then you watch a couple documentaries about Patrice O'Neal and Richard Pryor, and you realize if I want to be like funny and like a better comedian, I have to act black. Just like the way they talk is so natural, it's so raw, and I'm like, yeah, this Asian guy got to act more black. I've been saying motherfucker a lot more in my head recently.
That's a major key, right?
I think so.
Get the
yeah.
motherfuckers out there.
yeah.
Okay, act black. I'll try that out at some point.
It might be harder for you to do. I
Why?
can maybe get my ass kicked a little less than you do in public.
It's dangerous these days. There's a lot of wokesters out there. A lot of people looking to kick some ass, slap some
like
comics
that
off
phrase,
stage.
Wokester, that's good.
Yeah. It hasn't been that long. Who got slapped after Chris Rock? Somebody got slapped. Was it Dave Chappelle? I think it was
He
Dave
got
Chappelle.
charged. I don't know if he got slapped.
Yeah. Like that was a guaranteed thing to happen.
Whooped his ass. Yeah.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Holy
the
shit.
guy had like a broken clavicle. He
Whoa.
he looked like an aborted fetus. So he was like walking around like this.
Oh my God. I didn't see that. So what did he do to him? What's the story there?
He had like his
Was it
posse.
security or was it?
Oh, I think it was Dave Chappelle plus like 9 guys.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he charged him first, so.
Kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my top concern with Will Smith. It's like that just opens the door.
I think that was a fad that died out pretty fast, thankfully.
You think so? Yeah, hopefully it has.
I mean, you're pretty fit. I mean, I saw you have straight up like a gym and like a squatting rack in your own home. So like if somebody charged you, you'd be completely fine.
I don't know. They get a sucker punch in. They can knock you to the ground. You never know what's going to happen. Fucking start teabagging you, dominating you.
You look like you could whoop their ass, but also like tap dance them off stage.
Yeah, like it'll be a choreographed performance.
Yeah, a seance.
But you had a background of being like a former fatty, is that right?
Yeah.
Is that
accurate.
a culturally
Are you also a
acceptable-
former fatty?
Yeah, former fatty.
Whoa, it's always the
you
like
go.
skinny,
Right.
slim guys you never expect.
I feel like I can spot them. I can spot a former fatty.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the insecurities?
It's like you look too good for a normal person. Normal people don't look like that. What are you doing and why?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like if you diet, if you're like, as normal people just have like a regular body, right?
Right.
Like they don't have like a ton of muscle, they don't have like a ton of fat, they're just regular. But yeah, somebody who used to be fat, they got it locked down.
We're like barbecue. You got to marinate for it to look good.
So what's your foods? What's your vices?
My vices?
Yeah, what do you like to eat?
Oh, man. I got a bad sweet tooth. For a good year, I told myself I could only eat sweets on Fridays, but now I cheat like every night.
If I give you a chocolate, will you eat one in front of the camera?
No, I don't like chocolate.
You don't like chocolate?
No,
It's the best sweet.
No, I don't like.
Don't let women hear that.
Nah. Why?
They love chocolate.
Well, God, I hope they like bananas more.
Yeah.
No.
Get a little banana split over here. Yeah. So sweets. What else? What's
My
your
biggest
go-tos?
sweets. My biggest favorite sweets.
Yeah, like How were you as a
Milkshakes,
fat
honestly.
person?
I love
Milkshakes.
milkshakes, dude.
Hell yeah.
This has only been like in the last couple of years, but growing up, I was. Wait, I want to hear your story. How were you fat? Like, and how'd you get out of it?
I also love milkshakes. And well, it's been a couple of years now. I started losing weight in 2015. So whatever that is, 7 years.
Yeah, that's actually kind of recent-ish, I think.
Yeah, that's some of the content I'm putting out these days. I've been focusing less on stand-up and more on just content creation. Basically, what do I have to say to the world? There's things I want to say through comedy. There's things I want to say through podcasting. And there's things that I want to say explicitly through like YouTube or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so some of the YouTube content is just like, it's really not that crazy to maintain a physical baseline once you get there. What's hard is to like be 300 pounds and then go back or whatever. Yeah. So what was your top
I was
highest weight?
I was 5'7" and 190 pounds.
It's pretty big.
Yeah,
it's pretty big. It's not, it's
like
not
how you
enormous.
had to like
yeah,
like
it's
your teeth breathe.
It's enough of a teeth. It's enough to get a teeth breath.
Yeah,
suck it in a little bit.
Yeah, so that was my peak. What was yours?
I'm 5'11", and my peak was 284.
Whoa!
On record.
Whoa!
On record.
How much of that was muscle?
Zero.
Oh, you didn't
literally
work out.
zero. Never,
Okay.
never.
Whoa, that's crazy.
I didn't touch a weight until 2018 was the first time I ever picked up a weight in my life. I mean, I guess as a kid I played football or whatever. You know, you go to the gym for a few minutes. I wasn't that serious about it. But,
were you fat as a kid, like middle school and high school?
Well,
really?
More like high school. I got fatter in middle school. I don't know. I was kind of in my own world. Like you look back and you're like, it's probably the pressures of like school and changing and like the social world and all these different things that are like causing kids to get obese. But I don't know. I never really saw the advantages of being more fit until way later in life.
Interesting. I was lucky. I had a therapist push me to do comedy. I had a doctor push me to the treadmill. She was like, if you get any fatter, you're going to get diabetes. And I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, there's consequences for being fat.
But this is what people don't talk about. Wait, do you like girls, guys? Or
I like girls, yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't know these days.
That's cool. Yeah.
But here's what I thought. Like, when I lost the weight in middle school, I lost 45 pounds. Didn't get any pussy. And I was like, being fat wasn't the problem. What the hell is this then?
So, yeah, I love angry white comedians, Bill Burr, Louis C.K., that kind of guy. Those are my favorite. How about you?
I like, I guess you could say angry black guys.
Channeling the black guys again.
Yeah,
we got to get their swagger. Steal their
I mean,
spirit.
I'm already doing, my shirt is already doing,
you got the plain
like
black tee going.
Yeah.
You got the solid color pants.
Yeah.
I'm sporting the ripped jeans. This is just like suburban white
Give
boy.
me your pants.
Basic white boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you asked about the artwork on the OG pod.
Yeah, it looks good.
So that is actually created by an AI.
Are you serious?
Yeah, how cool is that? So basically, I met this guy actually here in Austin at a crypto event a couple weeks ago. Maybe you saw that happening. And he has this startup, I think it's called Wamba Art. Oh, it's the Dream app. Dream, if you search in the App Store, Dream. And he gets something like, I don't know, it's millions of generations a day. But basically, you just type in a bunch of words, and then you choose a bunch of styles, and then it creates art. And so you can create, the nice thing about it is you can create like 10 different versions instantly of different keywords and different styles.
That's insane.
And so I just kept generating, and then it's like, I like that one. Boom.
Okay.
So,
was there a fee or?
No, it's all free.
It's all free?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing that later tonight. That's so
check
cool.
it out.
Okay,
The
yeah,
Dream
definitely
app.
will.
Vivek is his name.
Vivek, okay.
Yeah, check it out. It's very cool. And so, yeah, I'm very into AI, artificial intelligence. I don't know how much you have.
Yeah, I don't know that
stuff.
much about it. I studied econ and religion in college, so I'm like quite literally like the polar opposite of like AI. I took one class on MATLAB and it kicked my ass. I tried to cheat my way through the class. I called MATLAB. the company, and I was like, I have a final project. Is there some engineer I can pay to do this?
Oh my god.
And then they just hung up on me.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I also have a pointless college experience, accounting. I took accounting.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it didn't help me. I didn't learn anything, but that's what I studied.
Wait, what is your job right now?
Well, I spent 6 years working at Snapchat, and so I'm a tech guy who's working
so
out
you're
in
born
LA.
to be a content creator.
I think it's a fun new world, basically. Yeah, like I would love to be a content creator. Snap, it doesn't happen as much. Snap is more about like one-to-one communication.
Right.
But that's kind of like my theory for the next like wave of jobs. What are people going to do? Is I think a lot more people are going to be doing creative jobs because so much stuff is going to get automated.
Right.
Like imagine if every fast food restaurant is automated, if every trucking job is automated. Well, that's like 5% of jobs globally, or what, I have no idea what it is, but you know, it's a huge percentage. And so what are all these people going to do? I think they're going to do creative things.
Right. Even like politicians, like Elizabeth Warren, she has an Instagram.
Oh my
Like
God.
that, it blows my mind. Like every senator has an Instagram with like
Yeah.
1 million followers, and that's crazy because they need somebody to like make a story for them, or like if they have like they're trying to raise money and like talk at a rally, they need some sort of a cool flyer to
Yep.
attract like millennials now. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like comedy is something that takes a lot of your soul and you have to put so much into it. You know, it's like you have to bleed continuously into the bucket and then you get like one drop out the other side. And then eventually it accumulates and accumulates and it becomes something better. With content creation, it's so easy. You just hit record, hit publish, people look at it or they don't, you know? Right. So here's something I've been thinking about with comedy. There's a lot of people that say that comedy is a meritocracy and that it's like that there's no gatekeepers and that's what's so good about it. And I'm like, comedy to me just seems like every other place in the world, which is who do you know and what are they willing to do for you? That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's a meritocracy on a very high level.
Okay.
Like when you talk to like comics like Louis C.K. or like Bill Burr, I think that's a meritocracy. But like to get to that level, you have to
start your own show.
Yeah, start your own show. Be very likable. You have to get a group of friends, and then that's just how you do it. Just like any other world, like how do you get a promotion at like Goldman Sachs? You have like the manager who hires people say that they want you. Like it's as simple as that.
It is. And it is kind of like the same thing as everywhere else. But one thing that's like, if you want to go get a job in tech, well, there's a path for you. You go to this school, you study these programs, you take this interview, you read those notes to prep for that. The interviewer is going to give you the guide that they're going to score you on, and you go through that whole process. If you want to start doing comedy, zero guides.
Right.
You just show up to an open mic and hope you get picked. You know, like
No, you can do way more than that.
Okay,
Aside from just
tell us.
hoping that being picked. I think if your purpose is just to like get booked and just to get on shows.
Well, just to like, I think one of the most difficult things I've had with comedy, any skill I've ever been able to develop in life has been around just practicing something like very constrained again and again and again. So like with weightlifting, like you're doing the exact same movement every single day, three times a week or whatever for years. And that is hard to do in comedy if you're not getting consistent access to feedback from the audience, which is like a very guarded resource. Everyone wants to perform in front of a live audience, and that's a very limited resource. So it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing. Like you have to have that access to the feedback to learn how you suck, basically, how you're bombing. And but you can't really get that without being good.
Right.
So how do you get around that?
To get around that, I think you have to start like on a very fundamental level, like just getting up at open mics.
Yeah.
Even if you have like 2 real people listening. I did an open mic on Monday night in front of 2 people.
Totally.
And it was productive because they laughed at the stuff that they thought was funny, and the stuff that wasn't funny, they didn't laugh.
Yep.
And so the barometer, even it changes. But like to a certain point, if you have like real people listening, that the number doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's the
right?
feedback.
Yeah, exactly. And just be a hound about it, like just be like a stage whore. Like you'll perform in front of one person if they're kind of listening. If they have half an AirPod in, like you'll still do it.
Yeah.
Just be a whore about it.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's how you get up like 15 times a week. I mean, if you do 60 sets in a month, 40 of them are probably gonna be mediocre. 10 are gonna suck balls, and then 5 will be really good.
So how much do you think comedy is like the NBA? Like if you're saying I want to go be a comedian, is that like saying I want to go be Kobe Bryant? Or do you think there's more space, more room?
Ooh, that's a good we're really playing on the black theme today, Very multi-dimensional.
Yeah, those guys are our heroes. Cultural heroes at least.
We got that on air. He's a good one. He's one of the good ones.
Oh yeah. Let's yeah.
Is comedy like the NBA? You can go independent in comedy now. You can't really do that with the NBA. Even LeBron needs to play for a team.
Yeah.
If he's just like the best player in the world, it means nothing if he's just standing alone on the court.
Totally.
But comedy is, you can make your own specials now. You can sell out your own shows. You don't need Comedy Central to sign you. So I think you can, in that way.
And in that way, it is more of a meritocracy, and there are less gatekeepers because it's not like Hollywood where there's like 12 people,
Right.
They know each other. You're not getting past the gate unless like how many different mics in even micro communities are there out here in Austin? You could, like get into all sorts of different communities.
Right.
Still gatekeepers, but it's not the same as other entertainment industries.
You mean like the open mic scene for comedy versus open mic in music, or?
Well, I don't know. I haven't really done anything else, but I would imagine that it's a lot easier to, do an open mic in comedy than to get a venue to play music on a stage or get booked for an acting gig. But I have actually no idea
Right.
How the rest of the entertainment industry stacks up in terms of accessibility.
It's funny because you look like you'd be a good actor.
Well, somebody hire me. I don't want to have to audition or work. But I'll say some lines.
I haven't, not to like blow my own horn, but like me and Tywin, we have like an acting agent. We've done like 15 auditions. Nothing has held through.
Oh yeah, how'd you find that?
I did a show.
Ty,
at
I know
Ty's
Ty.
house.
What's his last name
Tywin.
again? Yeah, is he? Anyway, yeah. I know
Yeah,
Ty.
he's a comic.
Yeah.
And speaking of doing shows for two people in the audience at his house, we did a show, and then one of them was an agent for like acting gigs, and then she liked us.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
perform for two people,
Hell yeah.
Perform for two people, yeah. That's
Yeah.
where it's at.
Well, I mean, Dave Chappelle used to do stand up in the park, right?
Yeah.
Like after he left, what was it called? The Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
He used to just go do it in the park. That's like something I plan
Gotta
to
be
do.
a whore about it. You gotta be a
dude,
whore.
I'm totally gonna do that one day. I'm just gonna go. I'll do this when I'm in Utah. I'll go to Salt Lake City, and I'm just gonna start preaching.
Oh my
What's up,
God!
dog?
Did your dog like slide through the 40 pounds of dumbbells?
I think the leash is just really long.
Oh,
He's chill. He's part of the fam. But yeah, like,
like that's a strong neck.
so when you say be a whore about it, you mean you gotta take every chance you get to be on stage
Don't be
and to
picky. I
express
see
yourself.
a lot of
Don't be
comics
picky.
who
Totally.
are funny. They get booked and all that. They're like, "Oh, I'm not doing that open mic." I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I knew people in New York who were like, there's somebody in New York who's like very well known for his work ethic. His name is Usama Siddiqui. He was like at like America's Got Talent, been passed at the cellar, done JFL. I did open mics with him when I started. And then when he came out to Austin, like maybe half a year ago, he did another open mic after like doing spots at the Creek, like a comedy club. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, why should you not be doing this all the time?
What are your favorite clubs out here? I love the Creek.
Uh-huh.
That's probably my favorite. I'm in Vulcan. I have a little drug stash in Vulcan, and somebody gets to find it. It's still there.
A drug stash?
Yeah.
Did you like hide it in a closet so when you do coke, you just stop in?
No, it's just a little bit of weed. But no, it's just so if I ever didn't have some with me, I'd have it there on site. Because I used to be there all the time.
How do you
I used to
make
be
sure
there
it's
all the
not
time.
cleaned up? There's not some like heroin addict like hiding in the corner. Like,
It's pretty well hidden. It's pretty well hidden.
interesting.
Yeah,
Now
it's
we
in a
know
spot
there's-
nobody would ever look. That's for
Okay.
sure. I mean, you'd have to do the same. I started in L.A. I mean, I didn't start, but I got interested in comedy in L.A. I used to hang out at the Comedy Store, which of course now this was before it was like a big deal. Now it's a big deal, and I did the same thing out there. Like I'd sneak into the back and go up in the kitchen and smoke weed in there upstairs or whatever.
Okay. Well, as somebody who doesn't smoke weed but is interested in good hiding places, maybe you can tell me off air where you hide things, so
Okay,
I can
I'll tell
find
you.
a good place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it in,
I'll
like,
tell you
the-
my strategy.
Yeah. Okay. Like the janitor's asshole or something.
It's just like
It's a
in
place you would
yeah,
never
just some
look.
place nobody would ever want to put their hand. The darkest, weirdest hole. That's where you hide stuff.
Interesting.
So it's like in the corner. It's anyway.
Okay, I
all
like
sorts
it.
of stuff like that. But freaking comedy, it can be a grind, but there is something about it. I remember my first time doing it. The thing that impressed me was, God, this is like so much feedback in real time.
Yeah.
And like people are like looking at you and they're like, what are you going to do? And then you can fuck it up or not.
Yeah.
And if you do well, then they're all enjoying it. And then even that, sometimes it's harder to like accept the praise, like accept the applause, accept the joke.
You've
Like,
gotten
have you had
applause
that happen?
breaks already?
I mean, when I was doing it in Salt Lake, there used to be pretty big crowds there. So there used to be
okay.
like 60 people. And whenever they did laugh, I was so surprised. I was
Yeah.
so shocked that they actually liked it. That I was like, I'd lose my place.
Right, yeah.
So it's definitely something to figure out.
Yeah, when a new joke hits, you're like, whoa, that worked.
Yeah. What's a joke that you've already retired that you can share with us?
Oh.
If any.
I went on a date with this cute Mexican girl, and then she ruined it. She was like, I love you. What if we got married? It's totally true. Caleb, isn't it awkward when girls try to become U.S. citizens?
That's their only path, marriage. Gives us an advantage. I always thought dating an immigrant would be like, they'd be very happy just to be there.
Dude, I take that back. You're not one of the good ones. Damn.
Well, I haven't done it.
Damn.
I'm just saying there's certain advantages.
You look like you would like a Filipino girl.
I think I would, actually.
Yeah.
I think I would. I can't really imagine what one looks like, but if there's any Filipinos out there, hit me up.
Just imagine a Mexican girl, but a little bit shorter than that.
Now, isn't that Asian? It's Asian, I think.
Yeah, imagine an Asian Mexican.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
They're
what?
colonized by Spain.
I didn't know that. What's next for you in comedy? Like, what are you working on? Where do you want to like? Are you gonna stay out here in Austin? I mean, you're
think
from
I would
here. So.
like to go back to New York in like half a year.
Okay.
I would say I think just like the funniest people are there. When you're around the funniest people, you'd be an idiot not to get funnier.
Yeah.
I just want to climb faster.
That is so true, though, that you get funnier being around. I hope the mic can't pick up this picture.
No, that's okay.
But you get funnier just being around funny people. I mean, really, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, they really rub off on you. That's one of the things I miss about working in tech is like all those guys went to Stanford, MIT, Harvard. Like they went to these really interesting institutions and they're working at like these really high levels. Mm-hmm. And that definitely does rub off on you.
Right.
And it's the same thing with comedy. Like if you're just hanging around other comics and they're jabbing and they're like, like just that hangout really sharpens you.
It definitely does. When you constantly have your balls busted.
Yep.
I think more than anything in comedy, you have to be almost like a nihilist to where like the joke is king. That's the prime factor. Because when you honestly, this is a problem that I'm running into, but it's also good for comedy, is that I'm starting to feel nothing. Like, right? Because then you get so used to bombing that when people like tear your heart apart, you're like, you thought about this thing to say for 4 hours and then nobody likes it. You learn to build like this weird armor around your heart.
Yes.
Exactly. And then you feel nothing off stage too. And
Dude,
it's like,
I know exactly
fuck,
what you're talking
dude,
about.
fuck.
That's a great description. Yeah, you kind of have to. That's like the bombing muscle. That's
Right.
like 4 p.m. at the Romo room. The only person paying attention just walked out of the room, and now you're alone.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep talking into this mic because I have it,
Right. Right.
or whatever. Like you have to like let it not. But that's I think with bombing, that's a skill, because if you can get that wall built where you're not like being affected emotionally, then you can still stay in the fun part of it and you can still enjoy it. And that's how you're going to get people back when you are bombing, is if
Right.
you're genuinely having fun, you're genuinely enjoying it. Nothing's fake. You're just like laughing at yourself bombing or whatever.
Right. But then when your dad tells you he loves you, you don't feel anything, and you're
Yeah,
like, oh
dude.
fuck.
There's something there. There's something there.
No, but you are totally right. Like, and like when me and Ty like performed in front of that talent agent, I was having the time of my life performing in front of two people. It was just so fun. You just become a nihilist. You're like, even if this place is packed or if there's one person there, I'm gonna have fun. That's where the nihilism is great.
That's where
Nothing
it's a tool that
matters.
helps you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I like what you said, that the joke is all that matters. And if the joke is at your expense, is all the better.
Right, right. There's funny Asian jokes. Yeah.
Yeah. How do people mock you? How did they bust your balls?
In comedy, not that much, but in high school,
Everyone would be too afraid
college.
these days. Be like labeled a racist.
Yeah, I know. I would love to cancel some white guys. Lay it on me, fellas.
Yeah. Let's get Tony canceled. Nobody's ever going to know what Tony we're talking about.
Tony Hawk. Yeah, you never
Yeah.
heard that? Yeah.
Not a pro skater anymore. But yeah, the joke is all that matters. Like finding the path that makes something unexpected, or just, I don't know, whatever makes something funny, whatever it's funny.
I'm interested to hear what you think about this. As somebody who works in tech but does comedy, those are two polar opposite worlds. One's very professional, one's kind of like an underground art form, you know. How do people feel in tech? How do they feel when they hear that you do stand-up comedy?
Well, I left my job before I started doing stand up. And so if I ever got a job back in tech, I think that would be quite the talking point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you say, they are kind of polar opposites.
Okay.
But tech people are very like data oriented, information oriented. And so I don't know. I feel like they'd get it pretty. Yeah. Like, I don't think it'd be a problem. You definitely probably have to be more careful. Like, do you restrict your content in any way? Do you restrict what you say? Or if something comes to mind, doesn't matter how fucked up it is, you're just going to throw it out there?
I'd say like 10% is filtered. I just won't cuss that much in front of certain people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I talked about raw dogging at work, and then I kind of lost all my coworkers' respect one day, and I was like, maybe I should not say that.
Yeah. You gotta be careful when it comes to that stuff. Well, what else have we not covered about the Chris Tan story?
The Chris Tan story. You talked about Utah when I first got here. I enjoyed Utah quite a bit. It's I think it's like a cooler version of California in a lot of ways. Yeah.
What is that?
Because nature-wise, it's like almost on par as California. The people are like very laid back. It's like how do I say it? Politically, it's like not too in your face, like not overtly liberal out in Utah. Like in Salt Lake City, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Over in LA, they're always like, COVID this, COVID that. Utah, they're pretty laid back about it, which I liked a lot.
So, have you spent much time out there, or?
Yeah, I spent like maybe 4 or 5 months just like driving around in a truck and then like solo backpacking.
Oh,
California,
damn.
Utah, and Colorado.
You spent 4 months solo backpacking?
Yeah,
That's awesome. So, how many states? 3 states there?
3 states. Yeah.
Holy cow! So, how would you find your route? Did you plan everything ahead of time, or did you just
No,
pick
I
up
would
and
just
go?
meet
Wow.
people and I'd be like, "Where should I go? I'm going here," and then they'd be like, "Yeah, just do this." And then it was Billy just like taking it day by day.
Utah has like a ton of natural beauty. Did you go southern, mid, northern?
I hit all the national parks, but
Nice.
I was I stayed in Moab a lot. It's like southern Utah.
Was this before or after stand-up?
This is during COVID, so like a year
Okay.
into stand up, and then the 8 months off, and then back into comedy.
Did you try Wise Guys open mic in Salt Lake City?
No, I didn't. They weren't open when I was there.
Dude, you'll have to try it sometime.
I heard it's great. Yeah, you said
It
it's
is
like 60
great.
people at open mics. Yeah.
It's the most people I've ever seen at an open mic, other than like you can't really count Kill Tony show because it's such like, you know, a big
Right.
show or whatever. But as far as an actual open mic goes, consistently dozens of people, sometimes like it would be packed.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's one of the benefits of performing in a town where there's not too much comedy.
totally. And or not too much to do. There's really not like
Yeah.
a ton to do. I mean, you know, it's their own version of 6th Street. It's about 3 bars. But yeah. But yeah, I'll be sad to lose 6th Street. 6th Street, people dump on it, but I love it there.
I
Like,
hate it. I
what-
hate it. Tell
too
me
many
why
homeless?
you like it, and I'll shit on it.
I
and
love
tell
the
you why you're wrong.
grunge. I love the homeless guys.
You're so clean. Like this whole place is so clean. How do you like the grunge?
I get along with homeless people. Like something about we have the same mind. I think I'm a homeless person that
Really?
that
It's
just
so
got
funny
lucky.
because you live at the heart of gentrification. Like this place is too. And the Mueller in Austin, Texas, is like kryptonite to homeless people.
Yeah, me and homeless people, we're the same side of the same coin, or we're different sides of the same coin. If you just flip me, I'd be homeless. But yeah, no, I like that. I just like all the bars, all the clubs, all the restaurants. There's like a ton of people.
What restaurants on 6th Street?
I don't think I've ever eaten on. Oh, actually, at this El
Besides
Camino
halal
Real, that
carts.
was pretty good. That
What?
Mexican place, kind of by the Vulcan, El Camino Real. I think
Oh
it's called.
yeah, they have good burgers.
Yeah, they had good burgers and sides. But I just like the vibe. You go out on a Thursday night and it's packed with people just like getting wasted and having fun. And yeah. So what do you hate all those things, or what's your thought?
Yeah. Oh man, that's like partly why like Austin comedy. There's so many opportunities here, but I hate that all the opportunities are on the same strip.
Yep.
It's like, as somebody who's like born and raised here, I'm like, it's 6th Street is like so romanticized because every time like I would tell people I'm from Austin, like, oh, 6th Street, that's the shit. I'm like, dude, you can get hammered anywhere, man.
Rainy Street is kind of a good one. I've literally been there twice in my life. I don't know, you know.
When it's not hot, it's nice. Yeah. That's nice because you can sit on a lawn chair, get hammered, and then stare at chicks. On 6th Street, you got to stand to stare at the chicks.
There you go. Yeah. Well, dude, I've loved this conversation.
I love how that's how it's gonna end.
Well, it doesn't have to
Chris
end.
is staring at curls. We gotta end it there.
I just want to find like the most awkward point for you to end it there. No. I've seen you do stand up. I love your stand up. You have a show tonight.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What else do people need to know?
You can find me on Instagram at devoutly Chris Tan. I run a monthly show at the Alamo Draft House in Mueller. We give away free movie tickets, so if you come, you'll laugh, and you might watch Top Gun for free.
Damn, there you have it. Top Gun for free. All right, great time.